Hey guys, it's Maggie. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're doing a really exciting test/comparison video between two cream contour kits. So the two that I'm talking about are the Anastasia Beverly Hills Cream Contour Kit and the NYX Cream Highlight and Contour Kit. Cream contouring has been a pretty big trend for the last probably year and a half or 2 years the most. I personally am a big fan of cream contouring because I find it actually looks really natural, but still gives you a little something something on your skin, you know what I mean? I also love it because I do have more normal to dry skin, so sometimes creams just apply a little bit nicer than powders do, especially if I'm having a really dry day. So today's actually going to also be a first impression on the NYX Contour Kit because I've never actually tried it before. I've always swatched it, of course. I recently picked it up, but I never actually put it on my face, so I'm very excited about it. So now let's just kind of go into the differences between these two. So first of all, the price, of course. The Anastasia one retails for $52 Canadian on the Sephora website, and the NYX one retails for $17 Canadian on the NYX Canada website. I have both of these cream contour kits in the shade Light. Personally, I'm a little confused by the Anastasia, I guess just like naming selection, because since this is called Light, I went to go look it up on the Sephora website to see how much it cost. And they actually don't carry the color Light. They only have the shade Light Medium. I looked at the names of the colors and it's completely different from this one. It's a lot more warm tone, and I actually think it's pretty much the same thing as the original Light Contour Kit. I'm just a little bit confused why she would keep Light Medium and also add Light to it. It's just a little bit confusing. So you can purchase this on the Nordstrom website as well as the Anastasia Beverly Hills website, depending on where you live in the world, of course. Personally, I like to have more of like a neutral to cool tone kind of contour. I don't like it to make me look dead, but I still want to add a little bit of color that's not orange. You know what I mean? As to the naming situation with the NYX one, they're a lot more simple. They have a light, a medium, and a deep. Now, as for the Anastasia packaging, it has, of course, a clear front, as you can see, and it actually has a magnetic closure, and it is very secure. Like, it's secure enough to the point where I could put this in my suitcase and I wouldn't be worried about it. I feel like it's very sturdy, yet at the same time I don't feel like it's super bulky either. Also, what I like about this one too is it actually feels like it seals the product. You kind of worry about it drying out, but with this seal, I don't worry about that at all. As for the NYX packaging, it's of course a lot more of a cheapy plastic material, but at the same time it does have a really nice clasp. It's not magnetic, it's just like a regular one you would probably see on an eyeshadow palette. I think it's pretty good for the price. Now, as for the shades in the Anastasia one, they're all very cool toned, and they actually have more of like a cream finish to them, meaning that they aren't completely drying down matte. At the same time, they don't have any shimmer in them. They're just like a regular cream. You know what I mean? Now, we do have three very similar contour colors in this. My favorite one is the color called Light Sculpt, which is the center one right here. But I mean, you also have two other colors that are very similar. Maybe it's like a tiny bit darker. So they're not that different. I just feel like maybe they could have one deeper than this and one lighter than this, and this could be like a middle shade, personally. The colors go as Java, Light Sculpt, and Havana. Java and Havana are both names of contours that are already in their powder contour line as well. And the highlights are all, again, matte or cream finish, no shimmer. But different from the contours, we actually have three very diverse kind of colors. So we have fair, neutral, and banana. Now again, banana is also another one of the colors they have in their powder line. I personally actually really like these. You can use them as concealers, but I usually just use them just to like clean up under the contour, put on like the high points of my cheekbone. I don't go crazy with these because they are a little, you know, they have a little bit of a tack to them. They're definitely a little bit thicker than like a regular concealer would be, but I really like them. Now, as for the NYX one, I'm gonna have to do side-by-side comparisons, but this is just like a regular contour color. It doesn't look anything crazy. It looks like it would be a good contour shade though for me. The difference that I'm not loving so far in this NYX Contour Kit is that they have a very yellow highlight and then they have a white shimmery highlight. The white shimmery highlight really attracts me. I'm just not a big fan of how yellow this is. I usually don't use the banana shade that much in this palette, but I don't know. We'll have to see. It's a little bit lighter than the banana color of the Anastasia palette, but not too much. Personally, I don't really know if yellow goes that well with my skin tone, you know, as brightening goes. Usually just like a light white works better, but we shall see. And then on the back, it actually has a little picture telling you where to put every product. I think that's actually really helpful. Now, since we have kind of the basics out of the way, I think I'm gonna do some swatch comparisons just to kind of show you what the colors look like side by side. So I'm gonna start off with the contour colors. Now, I'm gonna tell you already, the NYX one already feels a little bit thicker. Oh, you know what? And the colors are very different. So here is like a little swatch comparison of them. And the horizontal stripes here are the Anastasia Cream Contour Kit. And then on the like vertical stripe is the NYX Contour Kit. Now, Being real with you, I'm a little confused. The coloring is very different. The NYX one looks like it's a lot more of a warm contour, but at the same time not crazy warm. It might be more like a neutral kind of contour, whereas the Anastasia ones are very cool toned and a lot more deep. Looking at it right now, I can see the Anastasia ones have a lot of consistency when it comes to the pigmentation, not a lot of skips. The NYX one has a little bit less consistency. I'm missing a little bit more of a sheer area right up here, but we shall see that actually translates onto the skin. Moving on to the cream highlights. Again, I'm having the same issue with the highlights in the NYX contour kit. They're a little bit more stiff. I'm also noticing though in the highlight kit, there was a little bit of like, almost like a balling up of the product when I tried to swatch it. It might have something to do with the fact that my fingers are a little bit wet from the makeup wipe, but a little bit questionable, you know what I'm saying? So as for the cream highlights, we have the 3 Anastasia ones on the bottom of the horizontal kind of lines, and on the very top we have the NYX matte or more cream finish, and then on the side vertically we have the shimmery highlight from the NYX palette. So let's start with the shimmery one. It looks really pretty to me. It looks like being a nice almost pearly kind of color, which would really suit my skin tone because I'm very, very fair. Now as for the matte or cream finish shades, this really surprised me because the NYX one looks a lot more like the fair color on the bottom than it does compared to the banana shade from the Anastasia contour kit. I was really worried about how warm and yellow this looked in the NYX originally because I thought that's never going to match my skin. But swatching it, it makes me really hopeful that it might actually work as a regular highlight for my skin. Now I think it's time for us to actually test these on the face. I just realized my lights aren't on. What the heck? There we go. That looks so much better. So I have my little mirror set up down here. I think I'm going to do this half of my face with the NYX contour kit and this half of my face with the Anastasia one. Now tool-wise, I'm just going to kind of go through with you what I usually use for the Anastasia one. So we're going to use the exact same method for the NYX. Usually what I do is I apply all the products with my fingers initially, and then I go in with a couple brushes. Now, for the contouring, I love to go with the Real Techniques Expert Face Brush. It works so well. I love it. Then as for the cream highlight, I usually go in with this brush from Real Techniques as well. It's called the Buffing Brush. It works really well, especially underneath, cleaning up the contour line a little bit, also like on the cheeks. I really love this brush. It's not quite as dense as the Expert Face Brush, but it still has a decent amount of density where it can still help move the product and blend it into the skin. So yeah, so let's start off with the Anastasia one. So I'm going to go with Light Sculpt, which is probably the most similar shade to the NYX one. And I'm just picking up on my ring finger. And I actually have no face product on except for my BB cream, my concealer, and a little bit of powder under my eyes. I don't have any blush, I don't have any highlight, none of that is on, so yes. So what I usually do is I make the fishy face, and I apply it right here, right in the hollow of my cheek, kind of starting at my ear, kind of going in, usually to about just where the tail of my brow ends, and then I kind of blend it from there. So let me show you. Maybe I'll zoom in just a small amount. So there we go. Now after I have it placed, I usually just kind of dot around. Now I'm going with the brush, I'm just going to blend it upwards. Almost in like circular motions. And of course, working it into my hairline and my ear area a little bit just to make it look more natural. Now once I've blended it to probably as much as I can, I go in with my damp beauty blender and I usually just kind of pounce it over the top. Just try to blend the edges a little bit more. I'm also just going to take a little bit more and just put it just kind of around my, temple area, just so I can, have an even looking situation up here. I probably put way too much, but we'll see how it goes. A lot of it too, though, is also making sure that your skin reacts with the product too, because I find that this really happens to me a lot. For some reason, my face really likes to eat product. Like if I put too much blush on, I usually, try to blend it out, but if it's still a little bit crazy, I leave it for like 5 or 6 minutes and my face is pretty much eaten like half of it away. So I don't really know what's up with that. I believe it's just like the chemicals in my skin reacting with the chemicals in the product. When in doubt though, calm down, let your skin do its work, and it should help out with that. So as you can see, that looks a lot more natural than it did when I first put it on. Still not like 100% like nothing's on your face, but better than it was before. And I even see the difference in the sides of my face. This is a lot more sculpted, a lot more warm, just a lot, you know, more alive, which is a really big bonus for me. Now before we go on to the other side of the face, I wanted to go over why I actually use the brush before I use a beauty blender, because I know a lot of people love to just use a beauty blender. For them it works great, but for me personally, I find that it always moves my product around way too slowly. So I'll apply it, I'll try to blend it out with the beauty blender, and it just won't go anywhere in time. It will set down in place, and that's it. Like, I'm done. My favorite way to do it, of course, is just, again, first of all, warming up the product to your finger, making sure it's easy to blend, and then going with the brush to really get it in those areas, start blending it in, really. And then once you've kind of hit the place where, you know, it's probably blended as much as it can be with a brush, then it's really important to go with the beauty blender just to soak up any excess product, make sure it really melds in with the other products you already have on your face, and it just looks a little bit more natural. It looks a lot more skin-like, you know what I mean? Going on to the other side of my face, I'm going to take, of course, a little bit of the cream contour. So I'm going to take about that much. I don't really know how much is enough. I might need more. I think I'm going to need more. Maybe not. We'll try that. So I'm noticing already, this is a lot more of a natural color on my skin. The blendability of that was very strange. I don't know if you can tell, but this looks very intense. This side looks a lot more regular and natural, which I like. I think I'm gonna add a little bit more to see if it can layer up. It's weird. It's definitely a lot thicker and not quite as consistent in color. That is looking a lot better. Blend in a little bit of the sponge. I might need to add a little bit more, but I'm going to start and go up to the tops of my face. I think we're going to have a storm soon. That's why the lighting is changing. I'm sorry about that. We're going to go on and do my tops of my face. Did I actually just say that? Wow. My temple area. Took a little bit more. Let's just see how this blends. You don't need to have so many flyaways that it gets caught in your brush. Oh, let me know in the comments if you can relate. Blend the hairline a little bit more, you know what I'm saying? Okay, so I'm a little confused. I went and looked in the mirror, and the color looks almost the same. Like, very similar. I think the NYX one's a little bit lighter and a little bit more neutral tone, but it's not crazy noticeable. Like, if you didn't know, you probably wouldn't suspect it. As for my hairline, I might add a little bit more the NYX one because that area looked a little bit lighter to me. I think you probably would need 2 layers of the NYX one versus only 1 layer of the Anastasia one to make the same effect. So I'm just taking a tiny bit more. And I'm just gonna lightly, like I don't need that much more, I just need a little bit, just a little bit, you know? Now we're gonna go into highlighting. So I'm just gonna use the color Fair from the Anastasia Contour Kit, and what I usually do with this is I just kind of go right on the cheekbone area, go a little bit under my eye, kind of like, almost in like a check mark kind of situation. And then again, I go in with my brush, nice, kind of dab, and then blend. I don't want to be too crazy. I don't want to lift up the BB cream that's already underneath this, but I still want it to blend, obviously. Now, what else I'm going to do with this is I'm just going to put this underneath my contour to make the fishy face again. And I'm going to put it right here. Take my brush again, blend it up, and into my hairline, of course, like my ear area. Just kind of blending it in with the contour. Alright, now we're going to go into the matte highlight from the NYX Cream Contour Kit. Again, not as soft. Let's put it that way. And again, you see that is a lot less pigmented than the Anastasia one. So I did 2 layers of that. Let's see if that is enough. And again, just pouncing and blending. So I'm gonna pounce this on top. Soak up any extra product. Take in a little bit more. So as for the highlight, I don't think it's quite as pigmented as the Anastasia one. It isn't quite as nicely to blend, but it's not too bad. Like, you can definitely make it work. It just takes probably 2 layers instead of 1. And I'd say the texture isn't quite as easy to blend, of course. I think I have formed an opinion on this, and I think we need to talk about it. Overall, would I say it's a dupe? No. Just no. Now, would I say it's a terrible comparison? Not terrible. You probably don't need both. I still really prefer the Anastasia one. I think it blends so much nicer. I think it just gives you a more natural appearance. I just think it's just a better formula in general. I like the packaging better. I like the quality of the product better. I like the colors in it better. Now, as the NYX one, I'm not saying this is terrible. It's not quite as easy to blend as the Anastasia one. The colors aren't as pigmented. And for that reason, I feel like it's not as forgiving when it comes to texture on your skin. I think for me personally, if you have to use twice as much and you only get 3 colors, I would just say save up for the Anastasia one, because you get twice as much product, you have to use as much product, and the colors are better, the formula is better, the packaging is better. I just think the Anastasia one is definitely worth the money. If you're already going to spend almost $20 on this one, I would just say save up another $20 and buy the Anastasia one. Personally, that is my thought. So it's currently hailing, so we're just gonna wait a minute. Okay, the hail has come to an end. There's still a little bit of thunder going on, but I think we can get through this. I don't really remember where we were, to be honest. I think I was talking about the NYX contour kit. Basically, bottom line is I'm not super impressed with this. I don't hate it. I just think there could be a lot of adjustments that could be made, and I already have something that's so good that it's kind of like, well, I'm gonna choose the one that I know is an old faithful, trusted friend of mine. That's everything for today's video. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. Give it a thumbs up if you did. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I have a lot of really fun and exciting videos coming up for you guys. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you on Friday. Bye!